Okay, so I have a 24-year-old son that went to university 3 years ago, and we had a very good relationship. And after he left, he became very distant. Like he doesn't care about anything.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't text. He doesn't call. And I used to text him at least once a week just to make sure he's alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, you don't have to text so often, to check on me. I said, once a week is not too much. And so to respect him, I stopped. But if I don't text him, he doesn't text.
Right.
And I understand I am not responsible to or for him.
Mm-hmm.
I give him his space. I'm not a helicopter mom or anything. I let him do whatever he wants. But I think he acts like he doesn't care about anyone. When he does text, he'll just ask, how are the dogs? He doesn't ask about anything or anyone. And he goes months without texting.
Right. Okay.
So, and my husband says, there's nothing wrong. He's just a boy. I'm all like, yeah, but he acts like this. And then I was watching, I don't know if you are familiar with The Red Table.
The Red Table.
Yeah, it's a show with Will Smith and Jada
Okay.
Smith. They have really deep subjects.
Okay.
And last week they were talking about suicide.
And
And they were saying some signs of people that are depressed, if they become distant, like they don't care, disconnected, like several signs. And I thought, my son checks out every one of those signs.
okay. So you're worried about him that there's something wrong, and you're concerned about obviously, the actions he might take or how he's handling things, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I always read between the lines, and I may be way off track here. It seemed to me then what you wrote in, it seems to me that you want him to change. You want him to be communicating with you more. You want him to stay in touch more frequently. You want him to do certain things so you know that he's okay, which in some respects is really about you being okay. Is that fair to say? Did you pick that up?
No, no, because like I said, I I know he's his own man. He's an adult. He's 24 years old,
Right.
but he doesn't seem happy. When I talk to him, like very down,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love for him to be happy out and about, having fun. He's young. He's a nice guy, a young guy, so he should be having fun.
Right. Yeah.
But he doesn't seem happy. The way he looks, his attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen.
That's what concerns me. And my husband said, he's fine. There's nothing wrong.
Well, listen. I think your intuition is something that you can trust. If you have a feeling, there's something to be concerned about. But what I want you to challenge yourself to is make sure that this isn't really about you in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Okay. And so you got to be really honest with yourself. And you got to go, all right, how much of this is about me because I miss him? I want to know that he's okay. I want to make sure he's safe. I want to make sure he's this or that, or he's not this or that. So let me ask you a question. What is it that you want?
For him to look happy. It's really not about me.
Okay, but you want him to be happy, yes, okay.
To look happy,
To look happy. Okay. Let me
yeah,
ask you another question.
like content.
Okay. What's wrong with him being depressed? What's wrong with him being quiet? What's wrong with him not being happy right now in his life? He's 24. I'm going to bet that he's probably a young soul, not an old soul. He's probably a little less mature than his friends. Is that fair to say? Is he mature for his age or immature for his age?
He's older for his.
He's what?
No, he's very mature. He's a very good guy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
Mature.
maybe what's happening is maybe he's finding his own way. Maybe the path that was laid out for him, or the things that, the rules and the values and the different things that, you and your family and the other influencers in your life passed along to him, maybe that doesn't really add up for him. And because he's more mature, he's probably fairly aware. And maybe he's kind of going, yeah, you know what? This just isn't suiting me right now. And so undoubtedly, if that might be true, he probably has a lot of questions. He probably has a lot of doubts. He probably has a lot of worries, because he's been going down this way for so long, but his real authentic self is pulling him this way. And so he maybe feel like he's being pulled apart, and maybe he's pulling away from you because he needs to pull away so he can see where he needs to come back. Listen, I've talked to a lot of people, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, a lot of people. And what I've come to realize is most people are okay. Okay. I'm not a big proponent of all the awareness that's going on around mental health, anxiety, depression, suicide. Okay. I think it's important we talk about it, but I think there's too much attention being given to it where people are starting to wonder what the hell's wrong with them. Because they watch the Red Table show and they go, oh gosh, maybe I've got anxiety. Maybe I'm depressed. Maybe I'm suicidal. And the more questions that we put out, the more we talk about it, the more doubts it creates for people. I think he's 24. He's trying to find his own way. And you're breaking a couple cardinal rules. Do you know what those cardinal rules are? Do you want to know what they are? Okay. 2 cardinal rules. Number 1, don't give unsolicited advice. Okay. Cardinal rule number 2, don't do anything to try to fix me. Okay. Men don't like to be fixed. We like to go off on our own, and we like to figure it out by ourselves. And if and when we need help, we will come back and we will ask for help. So I think the best thing you can do is just let him go. I'm reading a book right now about a monk, a Tibetan monk who sneaks. He's a very famous monk in Tibet, and he snuck out of the monastery to basically leave everything and go on this journey to find himself. And it's a beautiful story. I think you should let him go. And there's probably one other thing I would do is I would have a conversation like this. What's his name, by the way?
Alex.
Alex, right. Sorry, you brought that in. I say, Alex, honey, I want to have one conversation with you. You don't have to say anything, but I'm just going to ask you to listen. And there's just a few things that are on my heart and my mind. I just want to share with you. And then we don't ever have to talk about it again unless you want to. And I would just tell him, I love you. I care about you. Obviously, as a mom, I can't help myself, but I just want you to be happy. Obviously, I'm observing you. I know you well. So I'm forming my own assumptions and conclusions about where you're at and what's going on. And I apologize for that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't make assumptions. I shouldn't draw conclusions. You're 24 years old. You're a bright, mature young man. And I trust you. And I have confidence in you. And you're wise. And I know you're going to find your way. And I want you to know that no matter what, if you're ever looking for a place to rest while you're finding your way, you can rest here in me. You don't have to tell me anything. I'm not going to ask you any more questions. But I want you to know, no matter what, I'm always here. And I just wanted you to know that. I just wanted to tell you that. And I want you to know that I've got your back. And if I can ever do anything for you, I'm here. But I'm going to leave you alone. And I'll check in with you once in a while. But I'm not going to expect you to call me. I'm not going to expect you to text me. The best way, and this is just a fundamental, the best way to get your kid to come back, the best way to get a male to come back, whether it's your son, your husband, your friend, is to let them go. Okay, it's called the rubber band effect. All right. So he's pulling away and you're holding on to the rubber band and it's stretching and stretching and there's tension. Just let go of the rubber band and let him go and he'll come back. That's what I would do. Now, you might not agree with that. You might not like it, but I'm telling you, that's what you should do. Does that make any sense to you?
Okay.
What do you think of that?
No, that's what I did. I told him, you know what? I had that conversation with him, and I told him, I'm going to listen. I apologize beforehand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be mad, but just listen. And I told him, I'm going to say it, and we'll never talk about it. And I told him exactly what you said.
Yes.
And I told him, I want you to be happy. You don't have to be with me. As long as you're happy, you can do whatever. I'm not going to bother you. You know, we're always here for you. But I agree with you.
When was that?
That was about 2 months ago.
Okay, can I ask you another question? If you really meant it, why are we having this conversation right now?
Because I guess, of course.
Pardon?
Because that's when I saw your show last week.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll get a second opinion.
Yeah.
I saw your
you
show.
Don't need a second opinion. So I told you what you should do. You already did what I told you to do because you knew what to do. But you're holding on, and this is the selfish part, okay? You're holding on to this because it's for you. You haven't fully let it go like you said you did. Right? And so you are going to have to make that decision every day. Go, no, I'm going to let him go. No, he's okay. And you're going to have to keep affirming to yourself the very thing that you said to him, unless you were lying to him the whole time in that conversation. But I don't believe that you were. I truly believe you were being authentic and telling the truth and you really care. And so you got to walk the talk now. You got to keep your word. Because if you don't, he's going to be looking at you going, well, wait a minute, Mom, like 2 months ago, you said this and now you're doing this. Like, he's not going to believe you. This is where we have to step up. And when I said last week about not being responsible for him, you're only responsible to him. You're only responsible to becoming a better version of yourself. That's it. A version that he watches and a version that he observes. And a version that when he chooses the one he wants to be within his life, he's got a great model to follow. That would be a really good purpose and a really good goal for you. Shock him. Surprise him. Impress the hell out of him. Just do something that's totally outside what you've been doing. Because I'm telling you, he's staying away because he's going, this isn't really fitting for me. And frankly, he's 24. And so you're done. Your job's done. It's time for you to, you're not a mother anymore. You're an adult parent. You have an adult son. That's it. You're no longer the mother. Mother's Day is over. Okay, no more Mother's Days. That's it. Your mothering is done. You're an adult woman now as it relates to him. Now, just change the nature of the relationship. Change your viewpoint. Change your perception. Your turning point is you need to look in a different direction and look upon this relationship differently than you have up until 2 months ago. That's what I would do. Okay? Okay. I'm sorry the audio didn't work very well there for us, but
That's okay. I got
Right.
got what you
well,
were
listen,
saying.
I admire you for coming on. There was a bunch of comments going through the chat there. There's lots of people that can relate to your situation. I'm going to do a show probably in 2 or 3 weeks. It's all going to be on this kind of a topic on parenting and our kids, because I think a lot of people are going to really benefit from it. So a lot of parents out there are struggling trying to figure out these kids today.